Naim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hinei Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Na 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 na. How good and how wonderful it is when brothers and sisters get together and see each other. So thank you all for coming. We're glad you're here. We're going to start off by lighting the candles. So Eva will light the candles and you do that over there in your houses.
And then again, I'll go to it. One went out.
Yeah, no, it's
Baruch atah Adonai.
Wait.
Oh, wait.
Everybody ready? Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlach b'ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
And we'll do the first two stanzas, or the first two paragraphs of the Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashara, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Welcome to you, ministering angels, messengers of the Most High, from the Sovereign, the Ruler of Rulers, the Holy One, blessed be God. Come in peace, messengers of peace, messengers of the Most High, from the Sovereign, the Ruler of Rulers, the Holy One, blessed be God. Bless me with peace, messengers of peace, messengers of the Most High, from the Sovereign, the Ruler of Rulers, the Holy One, blessed be God. Go in peace, messengers of peace, messengers of the Most High, from the Sovereign, the Ruler of Rulers, the Holy One, blessed be God.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvarach, Baruch Adonai Hamvarach, Leolam Va'ed. Go ahead.
Eternal God, whose temple is the whole world and whose dwelling place is the human heart, we know that you are everywhere and that your presence never leaves us.
Yet we are thankful for the appointed times and chosen places. We're in fellowship with one another. Our spirits turn to you.
At this service, at this hour, and in this place, help us to feel your nearness.
The week of toil is ended. The day of rest has come, and we pause to reflect on the meaning of our lives.
Source of all creation, you have given us the blessing of work, so that by our efforts we may fashion things and use the moments of helpfulness. You have also given us Shabbat for self-renewal and sanctification.
May the work of our hands and minds be acceptable to you. May this Shabbat enrich our lives, drawing us closer to you in truth and love. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Now we're going to ask Renee to read the V'ahavta.
Okay. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anoki mitzavecha hayam al levavecha V'shinatam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shiftecha b'vetecha, uvleftecha b'derek, uv'shofpecha uv'kumecha, ושעתם לאות הידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, ויהייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently to your children, and you shall speak to them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, that you will remember and do all of my commandments and be holy unto your God.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei fele, nora tehilot osei fele. Malachutecha ra'u bonecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze Eli, anu v'yamru, Adonai imloch, leolam va'ed. Hashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'amidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, because I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I knew someday it'll turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu.
Just a Here he is.
Now we will do the Amidah. So if you can stand up, please do. If you don't, that's fine too.
Adonai. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Adonai sefatatita upi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elokei Abraham, Elokei Yitzchak, v'Elokei Yaakov, Elokei Sarah, v'Elokei Rivka, v'Elokei Rachel, v'Elokei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imot, u'Mivi Gula libnei bneihem, למען שמו באהבה, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah Rav leHoshia. Mechalkel Chayim v'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'refei cholim, u'matir asurim, u'mikayem anatoh l'shenei afar. Mi kamocha bal givorot u'midol melach, melech memit u'mechayei u'matzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol.
This is yours.
Okay. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We believe in tomorrow.
We believe that we have the power to make tomorrow different from today.
We believe that poverty need not be permanent and that people need not learn war forever.
We believe in people despite all that we know about them.
We believe that there still can be a time of peace and a time of justice, a time of fellowship and a time of tranquility for all who live on earth.
We believe that we can have a share in bringing that day closer by the way in which we live and in the week to come.
Even though the world may smile at our dreams, it does not matter.
We still believe.
Marilyn.
Marilyn, please do the Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam ki atahu melech adon lechol ha-shalom v'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובחושה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
Very good, Madeline.
Very good.
Worthwhile coming just for that.
How about the-
Well, before we ask the priests to do the Mishaberach, would like to, if you would unmute yourself if you have a name to mention, anybody who is sick or needs help in any way. So please do that.
We would like to mention that Gary Holstein was hit by a car Sunday night.
Oh.
And he is in Kettering Hospital, probably going to be moving to Miami Valley Hospital. They operated on his back. He has a terrible concussion, staples in his head, and he's lucky to be alive. And it was a hit and run.
Oh,
So no stop. So please, everybody, say a prayer for Gary.
special Misha Bear for Gary.
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Also, my sister-in-law, Joyce Spritzer.
And my cousin Raleigh Lay.
Mhm.
Carol Williamson.
Jean Connaughton and Sheridan Kavanaugh.
Gail Stern.
It's her mother.
All right. So
You ready?
go ahead.
Me.
Misha Bear Makor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Bera Imo
Somebody is not silent.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Thank you. We'll do a silent meditation for, for all the people that we're thinking of that need our help and need God's help. So. Thank you. And I'm going to speak to you about two things tonight. One is there was a big holiday this week, and I bet you none of us remembered it. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. And secondly, we'll do a summary of the Torah portion, just very, very short. So the holiday was this Wednesday. And as I said, somebody mentioned something. Did somebody know what it is?
Tu B'Av.
Tu B'Av is right. Tu B'Av. It was on Wednesday, and that is Valentine's Day. And, it's been Valentine's Day for Israel for many, many years, for thousands of years, actually. As a matter of fact, it was in the Second Temple period. It was a mixer, basically, for young people. According to the Talmud, young women, would put on a white dress and go into the vineyards and dance. And all the young men would go into the vineyards and look for a wife, And so, and that became the holiday. The women would wear white dresses, and they would borrow it from other people, because they didn't want to be, for anybody to be embarrassed. And so white was the uniform, and everybody had to wear it. According to the Talmud, there are two holidays where women would dance: Tu B'Av and Yom Kippur. Who would think that? Who would? I never thought of that. Yom Kippur, young women would go dancing, and the Talmud says that was one of the major holidays of the time. Tu B'Av actually means the 15th day in Av. Tu is the letter T, which is 9, and U with the U is 4. Six, right? Yes, my math not so good today. All right. In Israel, they still celebrate. As a matter of fact, it's celebrated the same way as we do over here for Valentine's Day. People go out, people, give flowers and roses and all that. So it's pretty much, in Israel, they follow the same thing. But it's interesting that, that the state of Israel adopted it as one of its holidays. And the process of celebrating the holiday was always the same. It never changed. The only thing that was done differently is that during morning and afternoon prayers, the tachnun, which is said in the prayers, is not done on Valentine's Day or on Tu B'Av. So now you know all about it, and we can all celebrate next year. So, all right. Any questions on that? No. Okay. So a little summary.
Ira, I have a question. So do they still dance?
They still dance, right? But they don't dance in the vineyards. They just dance in ballrooms. They still go out to dance. Yes.
Okay.
Very good. So the second item I wanted to mention is the parsha here, and the parsha this week is called Akev, which means because, and that's the first word. The parshas are named for the first word in the Torah that is a meaningful word, not in or out. And so it's called because. And what we find in this parsha is Moses is still doing Deuteronomy. He's still speaking. He's still telling the Israelites, how you should behave when you get to the land. So we find ourselves now just before the Israelites are about to go to war in Canaan to take and Moses is telling him, don't be afraid of the Canaanites. God is with you. He will help you get the land. So that took a lot of foresight, a lot of courage, to tell all these people, say, hey, you're gonna win. You're gonna get the land. But he did it. But he tells them, when you get into the land, when you get it, it isn't because you have won it. It's because of your forefathers that you are getting the land, because you guys have been pretty nasty all the way through. You have done all kinds of horrible things. You've done you've participated in the golden calf. You've participated in the rebellion of Korach. And the spies that we sent in said the wrong things, didn't believe in God. And as a matter of fact, he says, you have been rebellious against God since the day I knew you. But he continues on. He says, God has always forgiven you guys, and he's fed you all for 40 years. He fed you, and for 40 years he provided for you, and you've always been uncooperative. He then goes on to describe the land of Israel, or the Canaan, and he says it is a land flowing with milk and honey, and blessed with 7 kinds of sustenances. The place is the focus of God's providence and his world. He commands them to destroy the idols as soon as they come into the land. That's one of their first functions, destroy all the idols. And don't become haughty and begin to believe that it was through your power that you got the land and that you were strong, and that through your wealth you will achieve was your doing. It is God's doing, and just remember all that. So that's pretty much the Torah portion for this week. But I'm wondering, when Moses says a land flowing with milk and honey, what kind of milk? What kind of honey? They didn't have cows. They didn't have bees. Where's the honey and the milk coming from? What do you guys think he's talking about? Anybody? Yeah. Well, the milk, of course, they had sheep. So that it was sheep milk and goat's milk, and the honey wasn't bee honey. It was primarily from dates, So that's the honey he was talking about, not the honey that we're familiar with. And he was talking about dates. But he also says it's blessed with 7 kinds of sustenances. So does anybody know what 7 kinds of sustenances are? Anybody know any of them? Do I know any of them? I don't know any of them.
Maybe wheat and corn and
not corn.
water,
Wheat is good.
wine,
Barley, figs,
Barley.
sheep.
pomegranate.
No. Well, it's wheat and barley and grapes and figs and pomegranates and olives and dates. So these are the 7.
I remember grapes. That's
So that's all I have to say. Thank you, and we'll continue on with the service now. So we're going to ask Marilyn to do Lechilach, rather. Okay. So.
Lechilach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechilach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechilach. Lechilach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechilach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechilach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechilach.
Thank you, Marilyn.
You're welcome.
And now we'll do the Elena, please. So, Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei kulam liyotzeh breshit, elo asana kigoyei aratzot, velo hosamanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, ve'gor aleinu ekol ha'amanam. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Hayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad.
When I die, give what's left of me away to my children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you would give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known and loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away.
Following yard sites are this week.
These are the people's names we shall remember. Dorothy Elhart, Julia Grunbaum, Samuel Kalig, Edith Holroyd, John D. Aldridge Sr., Harry Levinson, Charles L. Meyer, Lillian Myers, Fanny K. Alcus, Samuel Silverman, Madeline Theor. And are there any additional names we should add to the list?
You can unmute yourself and say, for the Kaddish. Anybody else? No? All right. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Alma divrachu v'yamlech malchus v'chayei v'chayei v'agala v'man karev v'imru amen. Shemei Rabbah v'orach v'olam amen.
Yit
Barak Elam in kol b'chotam
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. Mhm.
May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend on us, on all Israel, and on all the world. And let us say, Amen.
So everybody have wine? I'm gonna make the Kiddush. Here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedshanu b'mitzvotav v'yiratza banu v'shabbat kasho v'havo b'ratzon hilchotanu zikaron lemaaseh b'reishit v'hu yom tehillah Namikroe Kodesh, Zecher Latziat Mitzrayim, Kibanu Bacharta, Ve'atanu Kidashta, Mikol Ha'amim, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הלכתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השם. With one. Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And we're going to ask Renee to do the closing song or say shalom.
Here we go. Oh, say shalom ben Romav. Uya say shalom aleinu. Ve'ako Yisrael. Ve'emru amen. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu v'alko Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu v'alko Yisrael.
Thank you, Renee. Great job.
Amen.
Great job.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Shabbat shalom.
Good to
Shabbat
see you.
shalom.
Everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Have a good
shalom.
week.
Um,
Okay. Shabbat
Thanks,
shalom.
Ira and Eva, for hosting.
Thanks,
Yes.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ira.
See them.
Kiva, you did a great job.
Yes.
It's a party without
Yes.
people. Thank
Yes.
you for
Great
coming.
job.
Thank you, Marilyn and Renee. You sang beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Save the day.
Bye.
You
Yeah.
made it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you made it special.
Kitty,
Thank you
kitty.
for being there with us too.
Shabbat
Claudia?
shalom.
It's good to
Shabbat
see
shalom.
everybody.
Everybody.
Great to see everyone.
How will
Yeah,
we
thank
be
you.
able to find out how